Hi, good morning. This is Fred Henning from Out of Box Wealth. Hope you're having a blessed day and you and your family are doing well. And today I wanted to talk about going from manifesting what you believe to manifesting what you are trying to achieve. And I'll never forget, it was years and years ago when I first started listening to motivational teaching. I was on a conference call, and a very, very successful gentleman came on and said, "Beliefs are lies." And I thought, what? And because back then I was, very religious. And, to me back then, belief was everything, and I had to, have the right beliefs and the correct beliefs. So for somebody to come out and say that beliefs are lies, I thought heresy, is all these, extreme thoughts that I had. And because I couldn't hear anything that he was saying after that. But when we are in a state of belief, it's really, really powerful. We all are familiar and aware of the placebo effect, where they give, or they're testing a drug, and they give the real drug to 50% of the people, and then they give like a sugar pill to the other 50%, and the control group that received the placebo get the same results as as the drug, sometimes even more and better. But that's the power of beliefs. And so when we have the statement, going from manifesting what you believe to manifesting what you are trying to achieve. And the trying is a key word. It's a trigger word, because when we say that we are trying to do something, it means that we're attempting to change. It means that there's effort that is involved. It means that it's an attempt to do something, but we're not quite at the point of doing it yet. And a lot of times that happens because our beliefs are opposed. And limiting beliefs, what people like to call paradigms, that kind of put us into a limit. They kind of put us into a box where we are stuck. And if we have, limiting beliefs that maybe something happened when we were younger, it's usually what it is. It's usually something that happened in youth. A lot of people have experiences with teachers that say you'll never be successful, or maybe you had a situation with parents or guardians, where we disappointed them, and then they say you'll never be able to do this, you'll never be able to accomplish that, all you're ever going to be is blank. You can just fill in the blank, whatever applies to you. And all of us, usually we oppose that, but because it was charged by emotion, and because, especially if it was somebody that was an authority figure, because we have a certain, it's almost an inheritance that is handed down to us, actually from the war machine, from the chain of command, from the idea that, there are people who are at the bottom, and then there are people who are at the top. And there we can see the box starting to form already. And then we got people on the sides, and there we are. We're stuck in a box. And that whole idea that, that there's people who, are stronger or more capable, or maybe more chosen or more favored, or we may even be able to look and see, wow, yeah, we can see favoritism. And we can see that in all different types of environments, family environments, religious environments, work environments. These are things that we see. And so if we have a belief, if we have an experience that supports this idea, and if we have an emotional belief, an emotional experience that we had in childhood, it already creates the feeling, and so it creates a belief. And then that's a limiting belief. That's what keeps us stuck in a spot, or keeps us stuck in a space, or keeps us stuck in a box. And at Out of Box Wealth, that's what we want to do. We want to come out of the box. Let's just get rid of the box altogether. No more boxes. We're free spirits. We're infinite. We have the ability, being connected to the source, the creative source of everything, to be able to create anything. And I believe that's why we're here. I was listening to something this morning on frequency and the law of attraction, and the statement was that many believe that the earth is a place where everything is slowed down in our human experience, so that we can fine-tune and recognize cause and effect, so that we can recognize how the thoughts that we think, the feelings that we feel, and therefore the frequencies that we vibrate, so that we can single them out and that we can see exactly what they are manifesting in our life. And that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it really does. When we come to a place of awareness where we're not living in survival and the lower chakras, where we're just rushed around, where we wake up being rushed, we spend the whole day rushed, and we go to bed rushed, thinking about how we're going to be rushed the next day. It's just an ongoing, never-ending manifestation where we really don't have the time to slow down. So we're living in what is considered a slow environment, a slow manifestation. And you just think about it, think how fast light travels through our vibration, and it's something that we think is like very, very amazing. And we think that, the speed of light is just something incredible, something that's, that we're trying to achieve. And the idea, we know that at the speed of light, that time stops. So these are all concepts that we have a basic idea of. And we know that Yeshua, Jesus, when he climbed the mount of, it's called the Mount of Transfiguration, he took with him Peter, James, and John, and there he transformed into light. We know that serotonin is it's in our body. It's something that's actually in our brain, and recent discoveries have found out that it is serotonin is what eels actually cause to activate in their body, and it makes them glow. And it also creates an electrical charge that gives them the ability to shock a predator or an attacker. And so we know that we have the chemistry, we have the everything that we need, we have the interface, we have all of the wiring, we have all of the stuff that we need to be able to do these types of things. And again, it's not just a few people. It's not some prophet out in the wilderness just saying this anymore. It's science that has confirmed it over and over and over again, without a doubt. So when we're talking about our own personal beliefs, we're not trying to take away from anyone something that is a firmly held, heartfelt belief that is good and that is helping you in life. We're talking about the ones that are limiting you, maybe even harming you, maybe even causing disease and causing damage, causing recurring patterns that aren't healthy. And those are the ones that we're talking about, because they really are the ones that get in the way when we are trying to manifest what we want and what we want to create. And so we can, we can have affirmations, and they're beautiful, they're wonderful, we can read them every day, but if deep down inside our conscious and our subconscious and our emotions and our feelings are telling, that's never going to happen. It's true, because that's what we really believe in. We may discipline ourselves for a while, and we may find out that, if you do something for a certain amount of days, it worked for this guy, worked for that guy, all these different people have these testimonies of it worked for them. But if we have an underlying belief that just really doesn't believe it and has already come to the conclusion that maybe we're not that type of person, we're not the chosen one, we're not the gifted one, we didn't grow up with wealthy parents or connected parents, or we convince ourselves that there's something that we're missing but everybody else has. And that's self-sabotage. That's the type of limiting beliefs that get in the way, because we know that everything is energy. And when we look at the manifested world, it's only one, some studies maybe say 3%. So the physical world that we see manifested is at best 3% of everything that is out there. The rest is all energy. So there is absolutely, utterly no lack whatsoever. We have just, it is way, way, way overwhelming. It's the overwhelming majority, anywhere, from 99 to maybe 97% of what has the potential to be manifested yet, as opposed to the 1 to 3% that we're looking at with our eyes. And so that's why we want to go beyond the realm of what we see with our eyes. And our beliefs, especially our limiting beliefs, are practically all maintained under the foundation of something that we saw with our eyes and heard with our ears, and have come to the conclusion that that's how things are and that's how they're always going to be. So again, it may seem overwhelming. Sometimes it feels like it's overwhelming. Sometimes it seems like, it's a very well-founded conclusion and that there's no way out. But the truth of the matter is that it is such a minute minority. It is such a small conclusion, and we have just unlimited potential. We have the unlimited availability of unconditional and even unformed. It's just raw material. All of energy is the raw material, or in the early 1900s they used to call it the stuff. That's what they used to call it. They used to call it the stuff. Before that, they used to call it the ether, and many have called it spirit or energy, or a lot of indigenous tribes call it the web. And the web of connection. In ancient Egypt, they called it the web, and the connectors of the web were called, the netease. And they also used what was called the Jed to connect to the web, and thus they were also called the Jedi. Pretty cool, huh? So there's just so many things, and there's so many experiences. That's why I think, right now we have such an overwhelming ability to step out of any type of limiting box, to make a connection to source, through our authentic self. Being free of any limiting idea, any limiting experience, any limiting memory. And you know what? Those limiting ideas and those limiting memories and those limiting experiences, they don't have to go through, years and years of therapy. They don't have to go through years of struggle. They aren't difficult at all. If you think, if you just think, hey, concentrate on a stop sign. Think about a stop sign. See it red. See the white letters, STOP. Now, think about an apple. Same color, similar size, or maybe not similar size, but similar color, similar shape. But you are able to change your focus at will. And so by changing your focus at will, you are able to change any type of idea, no matter how long you may have held it within inside your own self. And there's lots of different techniques. Ho'oponopono for changing. If you feel like you're in a place where you're overwhelmed by an emotion that's overtaking you, Ho'oponopono is really useful. It works really well. The tapping technique is really useful. It works really well. Any type of prayer or pray language. People who have their own specific pray language, or praying in tongues, praying in the spirit, all of these things that have been out there from time immemorial, when we have all of the tools that are out there, and now we also have the science, the quantum physics, everything that we understand about quantum entanglement, everything that we understand that we are all connected energetically. So if anyone achieves something because we are connected to each other, we all have the same energy, and because someone had that experience, we can connect to that experience because we're all connected. And so the momentum behind any type of experience or any type of thing that we have seen anyone experience and achieve, that is right up our alley of what we are trying to achieve, we can connect to that energy, we can connect to that power. And since we are all crowned in Yah, we are all crowned in the authority of the creator of everything, we have the ability to make a choice of will, a choice of consciousness, to be able to make a choice of energy and make a choice of power. And then we're no longer trying to manifest something, because we have reduced or eliminated any type of limiting belief that is not serving us right now, and we have replaced that with the power and the vibration that we know will effectively operate through the law of vibration and the law of attraction. And then we're no longer trying, we are actually doing. And when we make up our mind that's what we're going to do, then that is exactly what we will achieve. So love, peace, blessing, abundance, prosperity, Gnothi Serotonin, know yourself. Blessing unto you and your family in abundance and love. Namaste.